Thank you so much for that incredible conversation, Korean. My name is Sophal Ear, and I have the honor of serving on the Refugee International's Board of Directors. The work of Refugees International, this award, and this awardee resonate very personally with me as a Cambodian refugee. In 1975, my family was expelled from Phnom Penh to Persat Province, where we lived in a labor camp and worked in the fields. In 1976, my mother heard that Vietnamese citizens in Cambodia were allowed to return to Vietnam, and thus sparked her idea that our family of 7 would pretend to be Vietnamese. My father didn't speak Vietnamese, but Mom did have some rudimentary knowledge, and her Vietnamese was so bad, in fact, that she'd given all the boys' girls' names and all the girls' boys' names. My father passed away from malnutrition and dysentery 3 days into our journey, a kind of Sophie's choice that thankfully we were spared. A Vietnamese auntie pointed out the misgendered names and helped improve my mom's Vietnamese by acting as a language drill sergeant for 3 days. Thankfully, Mom passed and my 4 siblings and I were saved. We were able to escape Pol Pot's Cambodia and go to Vietnam. From there, my mother took us to France, when a random Frenchman decided to take up our asylum case, and then we went on to the United States with the help of a maternal aunt. Now, since I teach courses on refugees and asylum seekers, I'd be remiss in not sharing with you one of my favorite passages from a book I use entitled Buddha is Hiding, Refugees, Citizenship, and the New America by I. Hong, especially since we are here in New York City. So let me quote, "Why," I asked Cambodians I encountered, "did you decide to seek resettlement in the United States, not France or Thailand?" Apparently incredulous at my query, they'd say, quote, "America is the land of freedom, you know, the lady with the light, lifting up an arm, holding an imaginary torch. This shining figure was what kept the war-traumatized refugees going in their long nights in Thai refugee camps. By raising their arms, they elected to go to America, the home of freedom and wealth, far away from the demented Pol Pot regime, the chaos, poverty, and political uncertainty of Cambodia. Standing before you with a doctorate and 3 master's degree as a tenured faculty as a former consultant to the World Bank and an assistant resident representative to the United Nations Development Program, and a former chair of the Asian American and Pacific Islander Advisory Board of the Los Angeles District Attorney, a father of 4 wonderful children, 2 of whom, Stephen and Caitlin over there, are here, and continuing, of course, the legacy of my late mother. I stand on giant shoulders to those who came before me as we celebrate the positive contributions of refugees, as is tonight's McCall-Pierpaoli awardee. The McCall-Pierpaoli Award honors individuals who have made significant contributions to advance the rights and safety of displaced people. The award itself is named for David and Penny McCall and Yvette Pierpaoli, all 3 of whom died during a Refugee International research trip in Albania in 1999. David and Penny McCall were philanthropists who traveled the world to see firsthand Refugee International's work and the challenges facing refugees. Yvette was a staff member and a great humanitarian advocate. Yvette's daughter, Emmanuel Fulin, a dancer and choreographer, is with us tonight. She's an educator based in New York and Brussels, who is a fellow Cambodian like myself. And I want to thank her personally for joining us. This year, we award Refugee International's prestigious McCall-Pierpaoli Humanitarian Award, our highest honor, to refugee and Oscar-winning actor Ke Huy Quan. Mr. Quan resettled in the United States as a child in 1979, the same year Refugee International was founded, when 10,000 people, including Sue Morton and Michael Morrissey, founders of RI, and Diane Lawson, the first executive director of RI, along with singer Joan Baez, sang Amazing Grace, and were greeted by President Jimmy Carter on the White House South Lawn. It was there, he told them, that he would send the 7th Fleet to rescue the boat people, a policy RI had advocated for and announced in the crowd. He told them, "We can't let your people die." Mr. Quan has since become a beloved American icon through his early roles in The Goonies and Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom. As a child, I remember watching these movies in awe and disbelief that someone who looked like me could be on screen. The characters Short Round and Richard Data Wang made me believe that the impossible was possible and that we belonged to the story of America. It's a rite of passage I have shared with my own kids. In the years that followed, when roles for actors of diverse backgrounds were few and far between, Mr. Quan persisted in sharing his talents with the world despite repeated setbacks. Until in 2022, when he gave his triumphant Oscar-winning performance in this year's Best Picture, Everything Everywhere All at Once, as the incomparable Wayman Wang. Now, he continues to grace screens all over the world, and for one night, he graces our stage. We at Refugees International were extremely moved by Mr. Quan's powerful callback to his refugee experience at the Oscars earlier this year. Mr. Quan has shown the world what is possible as someone whose, quote, journey started on a boat, unquote. His story and life's work embody the spirit of this award, the importance of welcoming refugees, and the value of ensuring pathways to pursuing passion and success are open to them as they build new lives with limitless potential. Please join me in acknowledging Mr. Quan.